Namaste. Why are there religion-based wars? Well, one group of people believes in something, while the other believes in something else. In today's world, where the clash of ideologies often defines our existence, the role of dogmas and beliefs cannot be overstated. From the rigid doctrines of organized religions to the subtle nuances of personal faith, these belief systems shape not only individual lives, but also the very fabric of society. Haven't we all come across people who aggressively and sometimes even violently protect their right to believe, while conveniently ignoring the right of other people to not believe? Let's take a closer look at organized religions where adherence to a prescribed set of beliefs is often non-negotiable. These religions have dogmatic elements that must be embraced by followers without question to be deemed faithful. It's a system where conformity reigns supreme and deviation from the norm is met with skepticism, if not outright condemnation, ostracization, and also punishment. Similarly, take for instance the teachings of some self-styled religious gurus who wield considerable influence over their followers. Many are urged to place their unwavering faith in figures like some ancient yogi who is supposed to have lived 50,000 years ago, Shiva, Krishna, and other deities. Some organizations utilize the Srimad Bhagavad Gita and the Srimad Bhagavatam as their primary canonical scriptures and enforce adherence by imposing specific requirements such as prescribed attire, clean-shaven heads, and a particular manner of speaking. Yet a critical and interesting question arises. Where in the Srimad Bhagavad Gita does Krishna ever demand blind belief or allegiance? The reality is that blind belief holds no ground in the enriching voyage through Vedic studies and the pinnacle of wisdom in Vedanta. What sets Vedic wisdom apart is its emphasis on the journey of both spiritual and intellectual evolution. It's not about blindly accepting dogma, but rather about engaging in a profound exploration of the self, or that of existence and consciousness. Through the study of the Vedas that leads seekers towards Vedanta, one is guided along a path of self-discovery, culminating in the realization and experience of the all-pervading self personified as Krishna. In fact, it would be utterly demeaning to label Vedanta as a religion, especially using names given by invaders, plunderers, and colonizers. Religion, by its very definition, revolves around the worship of deities and adherence to prescribed beliefs and rituals. It's a closed framework that often limits rather than liberates the human spirit. Whereas Vedanta is a path towards the ultimate realization that subjective awareness is the all-pervading Supreme Brahman or Krishna. Krishna says in Shloka 10:20, Ahamatma Gurakesha Sarva Bhutasha Yastitaha Ahamadischa Madhyamcha Bhutanamanta Evacha. I am the Self, Arjuna, situated within all living entities. I am the origin, the middle, and also the end of all beings. As against organized religions and cults, the Srimad Bhagavad Gita unfolds as a dialogue between Krishna and Arjuna, inviting introspection and discernment. Here, Krishna does not impose his will upon Arjuna, but instead guides him to make his own choices, a far cry from the authoritarianism often associated with religion. The culmination of Vedanta is the seeker's attainment of self-knowledge, transcending all dualities that define our mundane existence. When one looks at the whole of existence, there is a subjective egoless I and everything that can be perceived, therefore the subject and the object. Always remember this: Brahman is always the subject, and all that can be perceived, known as names and forms or namarupa, are manifestations of the unseen principle of Brahman or existence. In the journey of Vedanta, a seeker sheds all layers of ignorance when his or her subjective egoless I merges seamlessly with the whole, Brahman or Krishna. Embracing Vedanta requires a departure from the shackles of blind beliefs, inviting true seekers to engage their intellects and transcend the limitations of religious dogma. It's a call to rise above the divisive forces that plague our world and embrace the boundless expanse of spiritual enlightenment. So let us heed this call, casting aside the constraints of dogma and embarking on a journey of self-discovery and liberation through studying Vedanta. Start with the Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Make use of the easy-to-understand tools that I offer, most of which are completely free of cost. It's a great way to rise above duality and arrive at the knowledge that the self is the only truth that is self-evident, which in Sanskrit is known as Svatah Pramana. Through the study of Vedanta, one can truly embrace the limitless potential of the human intellect, transcend the limitations of organized religion, and experience ultimate freedom and divinity. Stay blessed. Thank you. Jai Shri Krishna.